They also did say, well, it's the end of overvoting and impersonation. Remember, they have supported this. So this was actually said by Alhaji Ayodele Jinadu, who happens to be the former commissioner for tourism in the former governor's administration, Governor Kaide Fayemi of Ekiti State. So he made that statement. Afterwards, the PDP also spoke up on this matter. Remember, they have their views and still hold it. Look at that. They say the challenges attached to this is enormous. The series of lapses recorded across several states as this went on. And then they said there were many problems. It showed that the technology cannot be deployed at this time. The publicity secretary of the PDP so says, and don't forget that this is the view that they've had over time. And so they underscore that view with this statement, with that mock accreditation which happened in 12 regions, in 12 states across the country. It wasn't just about them that spoke up on this. You were an observer. Remember, some of them are also in the country preceding these elections. This was the one that was said, saying, look, yes, they did applaud the card readers. They expressed their satisfaction about it. Yeah, you have minor challenges and then hoping it will be straightened out. But then it's expected to lend credibility to the entire electoral process, they say. Now, while all of this went on, many still kept their eye on INEC, saying, what will the comment from INEC be this time? But you know, there was that meeting that was scheduled to hold with INEC. So that meeting has been rescheduled with their commissioners to come up with a feedback on that. So that meeting didn't hold today, won't hold tomorrow. It will now hold on Wednesday, 11th of March. And so perhaps after that, maybe INEC will eventually just come up and speak about the outcome. What was the performance figures? What kind of figures we will put to, say, in the north? Remember, several states in the north, they'd have this high collection rate of the permanent voter cards. And then their counterparts in the south-south, in the southwest and southeast will also have their figures published or commented on by INEC, hopefully. So when that day does come, you will get to know as soon as we hear them. But yes, our cameras did also go to town on the day of this mock accreditation. Remember, we were live in many of those locations, and so we'll now bring you a wrap-up of what transpired in some of them.
Smart card readers, INEC's newest baby, an introduction, the Commission says, is an answer to solving the age-long trouble with voter register. But the card readers has perhaps given the Commission more sleepless night than they envisaged, and a possible way to deal with the controversy is a public test of the device. So a field testing in 12 states, 2 from each geopolitical zones, was designed in Lagos. Not an impressive turnout, but local and international observers keep a close watch, while voters in trickles approach the officials with their PVCs. The efficacy of the device was particularly tested when these men appeared at a polling unit different from the one where he registered.
It rejected it immediately, and they told me immediately that I should go to where I registered.
If you are not the owner of the card, the smart card as shown today, it will reject it. If you go to a particular polling unit where you did not register, that is where your name is not on the register, the smart card will also do what? Will reject. And the smart card also keeps records of everything. As we are speaking now, Mr. Tunde Kefar and his team, they're already sending all the records of what the smart carders have done today to where? To Abuja, the headquarters. Because it also has a device that sends this information right to our database, to our server where it keeps the record. Next week, we shall be in Abuja to do an assessment of this demonstration exercise. Areas where we need to still improve, we work on them.
Today, we deployed 350 observers across the 12 states. And it's the same information we gather here, we also gather across, because the essence of today's exercise is to see the efficacy of this voter machine, how it works. You know very well that voter accreditation during the election is between 8 and 1, that is 300 minutes. So if you take a machine 1 minute to capture a person, that means you can't go beyond 300 people. So those who are clamoring for not to be used, they have a point. But if you can capture 4 people or 3 within a minute, it's a plus.
The commission is expected to release its report on the exercise in a few days. But then, this exercise may have clearly shown in what ways INEC will have to adjust its strategies ahead of the elections, which is just 3 weeks away. Sheon Okimaloye, reporting for Channels Television News.
So how many are impressed with that mock accreditation of INEC while they tested the card readers in 12 states? Well, let me move on to Prince Seriki. He is a member of the PDP. He joins us today in our studios. Thank you for coming on this evening.
Thank you.
Are you in any way, to say the least, satisfied or even if it's a little bit impressed with the performance in terms of the successes that was recorded with the testing of the card readers by INEC?
Largely, I'm not impressed.
Why not?
Because the election is about the future of the country. And trying to toy with the future of a nation is very unrealistic. I would have expected of INEC, if they are very desirous of using this system, to have perfected it all long ago before the election. In what we just listened to, there is a 300-minute window for accreditation of voters. And the list of all these polling units are 500 people. So, ab initio, we are disenfranchising 200 voters per polling booth. That is if their supposed technology is working at optimum capacity. We would have expected them to have tried it in all these by-elections and whatever, for us to know, as desirable as the technology is, the unity and progress of this country is fundamentally of significant importance.
But the chairman of the commission, while he appeared before the Senate, did say they conducted several functionality tests and that many of them passed, the relevant ones. And so they've got backup for where the machine does not work. He says it's going to even be rare for that to happen. And where your card cannot be read, they've got the incidence form for you to fill. And so when you do that, you will be accredited. It's about accreditation here.
Yeah.
So when you're accredited, you will vote.
No. You see, when you are talking about theory, it's different from practical. I'm a scientist. When you talk of hypothesis, it's different from real situations. Like you talk about hypotheses or ideal gases, there is nothing like ideal gas. What he is talking is about theory, and that's why I said it's very unpatriotic to toy with the future of this country with this kind of hypothesis. Creations are meant for human advancement. These creations are not meant to devastate our nation. Take, for instance, if they have not shifted the pole, what will they be doing?
Remember, INEC said we were ready for the elections.
Yes, if we were to be ready then, what are we doing now? You see, I am overwhelmed at the audacity of people who have responsibility, real responsibility, to make date with history, and they are bungling it with stubborn stupidity.
Let me get to Dr. Baba Ahmed of the APC. He joins us from our studios in Abuja and get his perspective on those matters. Good evening and thank you for joining us today. What's your impression about this? I mean, we've got Prince Seriki here who says, look, INEC is toying with our future. What do you think of that mock accreditation?
It went very well. There were a few glitches which we believe can be fixed. We're glad that INEC rolled out another test. They've carried a long series of tests on the card reader. This is not the first time they're testing it. They're testing it now largely because there is another window to further test it to boost confidence. They're testing it because the PDP in particular insists that they don't want the card reader. PDP forgets that APC and PDP and all the parties are going to go through the same process. We are not going to tolerate a process or a system that causes a problem. And they haven't proven how the card reader will disadvantage just PDP and not anybody else. It has worked well. The card reader, let's remind ourselves, the card reader is supposed to do a number of things. First of all, it says the card is genuine. This is INEC's card, and no one in the field during this field testing has said it's been unable to do that.